Hey friends, hope you're doing well. So, I apologize if there was some confusion as to when we were getting started, since the time listed for the event is in Mountain Time. So, unless you live in basically Arizona or New Mexico or Colorado or Utah or right on up through there, and you're going, oh great, awesome, I know the time, and everybody else is confused. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lydia Epic. Pleasure to have you here. Hey Vanessa! And with today's meal prep, we are going to be, let's see, do I have everybody here that I want? And invite some folk out. So for today's meal prep, it's going to be all about, awesome, here we go, overnight oats. And I'm actually going to preface it a little bit before we get started. Here we go. So, hey, with this setup, it's super quick if you're using old-fashioned oats. Okay, so with the oats that we'll typically use with making overnight oats, it's going to be your old-fashioned rolled oats. Okay, if you have steel cut oats, you can still do overnight oats. It's just going to look a little bit different. Okay, so I'm going to actually walk you through that first, so then you can get yourself started. And honestly, you'll be finished like that, and your setup will be a little bit different. Okay, so for those of us who are using the rolled oats, I want to quickly preface this before we start getting into everything, because I literally just figured this out or found this out about an hour and a half ago. So, for those of you who do or do not know, I work as a wellness consultant with Young Living, and part of what I do in my practice is wellness goal setting. I do different biosurvey scans just to figure out where people are and help them with creating a plan for moving forward. So I even myself periodically do scans, and the recent scan that I did, for whatever reason, had some really strange markers on it. And so this particular scan, so if you're familiar with Zyto, so there's a Zyto balance scan. So I did the Zyto balance, and on that scan, it showed that for my toxic stress, that vaccinations were really high and glyphosate was really high. I'm thinking, that's really strange. I mean, my numbers were just nowhere close to where they normally are. Long story short, this was a culprit. Okay, so if you have oats that are Quaker oats, I'm trying to think, most of your other oat brands, but this one is a definite big run super careful with this, because we've been eating more of the Quaker oats. We were eating, of course, the barley. It turns out that with oats, barley, and some beans, before they are released, if they're not organic, they're being sprayed with Roundup, basically. Okay, and then Roundup is where you get glyphosate, and that's what was showing up in my system. So it took a little bit to put two and two together to go, oh my gosh, I've been eating this and that's what's been showing up. So this is completely empty. I'm getting it out of my house. I ran to the store and went, okay, what are the different oats that they were able to show that had either no detection of glyphosate or had extremely low levels? So this was the one that had no detection of glyphosate. So this is the 365 organic or old-fashioned oats. So that's what I have here. If you cannot get to that, that's okay. There's another option. It was Nature's Path. I think I picked that one up too. It's over here in my box. Like I said, I literally ran to the store and went, oh my gosh, okay? So Nature's Path is another great one to choose from. Whatever you go with, I can leave a link if you like in the top so you can see and get a sense of what's going on. That'll help you to determine what kind of oats to use. So all that being said, if you're going, oh nuts, I don't have the right oats, it's okay, okay? So if you have Quaker oats or some other oats and you'd rather hold off and do a little bit of searching to see what would be the best oat option for you, do that. Because I just would not feel right going, oh yeah, let's make these oats, and then I know it's giving me toxic levels of issues, okay? Awesome. Good deal, Tan. So with that, with the rolled oats, we're going to just launch straight in. It's super fast and easy. If you have these steel cut oats, so those are the oat groats, what you want to do is you want to get a saucepan, and you want to use basically 1 part of oats to 2 to 3 parts of liquid. So you want to use water. Okay, so if you use 1 cup of your steel cut oats, you're going to use 3 cups of water. You're going to want to boil them for about 5 to 10 minutes and then turn them off. And that's it. Okay, so you're going to let them sit overnight, and then when you're getting them ready in the morning, you'd apply just a little bit more heat to them, cook them for another 5 to 10 minutes, swirl in whatever mix-ins you'd like, and that'll be that. So yours won't sit in the fridge. Yours will actually sit on the cooktop or on the stove, and you'll just keep it covered and you'll be good and fine. Okay, so that's the steel cut oats, people. For those of us who are working and rolling with it, okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, jar-wise here, you can't necessarily see all of them. I have a different blending collection. So I have primarily these 8-ounce containers, okay, so my 8-ounce jars. But then I know for some folk they're going, but I have lots of pint size. That's okay too. You can either do a double portion in your pint size jars or just fill it halfway. Either way, you'll be totally fine, okay? So let's go ahead and launch in. So as we already talked about, when we're doing these classes, it's about not only just finding easy, healthy ways to take care of ourselves and have healthy, vegan even meals, plant-based meals, but we also want to make sure that the ingredients that we're using are going to be as healthy and clean as possible. So if I find out something that I know isn't right, again, I'm going to share that with you. And so that even goes to the point of using our different vitality oils in these dishes. When we're using an essential oil, whether it's lemon or nutmeg or thieves, each of those is actually going to help with cleansing our bodies as we're eating. That's the reason why I absolutely love working with them. Another quick note for my steel cut oat people. If you're going to use steel cut oats and you're wanting to do any kind of mix-ins with your vitality oils, wait until all the way at the end. So just before you serve them, that's when you're going to mix it in with the different things that you have, okay? So that way you're not applying any heat to them. We want to keep them as solid as possible, okay? Awesome. Yeah, so the 365 Organic, this is a good brand. So when they did testing on this one, there were no detected levels of Roundup on them. I know, I was super sad. So, okay. Let's go ahead and launch in. So, measurement-wise, you have, of course, your oats. You've got your nut butters. I have almond butter and peanut butter. They're both organically grown. Harrison, my son, really wanted almond butter, so he's already gone into it. It's okay, I put it in a separate dish. He's not eating straight from the jar. And then we have peanut butter. So whatever butters you'd like to use. If you have a nut allergy, you can easily substitute it for sunflower butter or soy butter, whatever you like. The idea is that it's just a way to have healthy fats in your containers for your overnight oats. Then we also have, of course, milk. Okay, so you can make your own almond milk, or you can buy almond milk, or you can use soy milk, hemp milk, coconut milk, whatever you like. We tend to go through a lot of almond milk, so that's what we've got on hand. And then let's see, what else did I have? Thinner fruit. So we have some different options with fruit. If you saw on my main page, I talked about how you can go to the grocery store, and there was also the post of choosing your organic fruits. You want to look for the number 9 in front of them. It's especially true for apples, for peaches, for berries. You want to get those organic because they tend to have lots of sprays that go on them when they're conventionally grown. So, point to note. And if you were struggling to find those fruits fresh and having them organic, you can also get them frozen. Totally works. So I have some frozen organic peaches I'm going to be using, as well as berries. And then I've got my maple syrup, I've got coconut sugar, and if you're wanting to, again, add in some more healthy fats, that's why we have the chia seeds. They're not required, they're just kind of a fun crunch, and they'll go very nicely with this dish. So let's go ahead and launch in. So the first one we're going to make up, if you're going to be using, let's see, yeah, you'll start with this one. So if you're going, I want to have an oatmeal dish that has no fruit in it whatsoever, cool, I got you covered. Okay, so if you want to do a hands up and go, yeah, I'd rather not have fruit in mine, thank you very much, I just wanted to be seasoned really nicely, go ahead and just wave a hand and I got you covered. Okay, so for this one, we're going to start off with our oats. All of the bases are going to be exactly the same. What's going to be different are some of the different mix-ins we'll do along the way. Okay, so I'm going to open up my oats. So no matter what you're doing oats-wise, you're going to start off with 2 cups of oats. Okay. So I'm going to open up my jars here. And let me know what size of, hey, thanks so much for the love. No worries. Okay. If you're looking at your fruits, that's okay. That's what you're really wanting to look at, to have that starting code of a 9. And thanks so much for the love. That's right. When you are watching a video live, if you like and love, so you hit those 2 little buttons, that lets all of Facebook know, oh my gosh, this is such an awesome video. You should totally come. Thanks for that, Nina. Okay. So with your fruit, it's okay if it's not marked that way. Okay. So we'll just adjust and it'll be totally fine. Okay. So for this one, we've got our 2 cups of oats. I don't know about y'all, it has been extremely hot here, so anything I can do to make a cool dish works for me. And that's the reason why the overnight oats is a great way to have something that's nice and hearty. Of course, oats we know are great for reducing cholesterol, helping to reduce stroke. Of course, it helps when they're, you know, in a healthy format, so when we get them, okay? So I've got my 2 cups of oats here. Okay. And that's going to be my starting point for whatever I'm going to be using. So I'm going to put it in all of my different jars. If you're wanting to do a nut butter in any of these, I recommend you put that on the bottom first. So just the same way when we did salads in a jar and we put the dressing down first, you want to do that with your nut butters. So I know that I'm going to make one big jar for me and a couple of smaller jars for my little people. So with my butters, there we go, okay? So it doesn't have to be a whole lot that you're putting in. So when we're talking about spacing these out, think about a couple teaspoons of butter, okay? If you want to have more almond butter or peanut butter, totally go for it. So I'm gonna do just a little bit. I already have the spoon in here, so I'm just gonna kind of glob it in. So I'm just gonna do a nice little glob on the bottom. And the same way that when we were doing our salads in a jar, we would take them and we would just dump them out into a bowl when we were done. You do the same thing here. So I'm gonna make 2 or 3 of these with nut butter on the bottom. Hey, glad you could join on, Sheila. So I'm gonna do some of them with nut butter. That's right, I didn't even tell you the different types we have. So we're gonna do a nut butter berry one, and then we also are going to have one that's like a peach cobbler. Because I absolutely love cobbler. Okay, so for the ones that I wanted to have a nut butter in, those are done. Here we go. So from here, if you want to make it into almost a nut butter and banana type flavoring, this is where you would go next. So you've got your oats. I'm going to start to put the oats into these and measure it out. So I've got 2 cups of oats, which means technically I should be doing about half a cup of oats in each of my containers. Okay, so I'm going to do about half a cup of oats. And then for this one, for example, this is going to be one of my larger containers. I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's half filled, so you're not freaking out and going, oh my gosh, my jars are too big, but I only wanted to do 1 serving. I got you. Okay. And now for this last jar, I'm going to purposely do this as a double portion. Okay, so that means I'm going to need a little bit more of my oats, and that is totally fine. So yeah, you're wanting to do, if you're just doing a single serving, when you're going back and watching the video, do about half a cup of oats for 1 jar, and you should be good to go. Awesome. Okay, so that is there. That's good to go. Then next up, we're going to do our different liquids, as well as then doing our fruits towards the top, okay? So if you wanted to do any kind of sweetener on your oats, go ahead and add that now. So if you're wanting to do, for example, a little bit of coconut sugar. So I know with the ones that have the almond butter, my nut butters in them, here we go. I'm going to use about, I'm going to use a little under half a teaspoon just to sprinkle it in, okay? So I'm going to put a little sprinkle in my nut butter ones. Those are going to be my peanut butter banana ones, okay? Should be good. And you don't want to do too much sweet because I'm going to follow it up with a little bit of maple syrup as well, okay? So I'm good with those. Good. All right. Then for the ones that didn't have the coconut sugar, those are the ones that I'm going to be adding my maple syrup to. So make sure I had that properly marked. Okay. And good. All right. So with my maple syrup for this one, I'm going to do actually not a tablespoon because it's way too big. I'm going to do about, let's see, so I'm going to break that up. I'm going to do about a teaspoon of maple syrup. If you want to do 2 teaspoons, go for it. Okay, whoops. And so those are going to go into the ones that don't have peanut butter in them. Because I'm going to basically do 2 different types here. I'm going to do one that's like a cobbler and then one that's like a peanut butter banana. So those are my 2. Oops. 1. Okay. So that is that. Oh. And that's right. If you can get organic maple syrup, anytime you can get organic, try to do that if you can. Okay? It's like we've already figured out, there's a whole lot of additional things that are happening when we're getting our different products and they're not organic. It's so sad. Okay. So now that is done. So next we're going to go on to our milk. There we go. Cool. Oh, this is completely new. I don't know if you guys have run into this. You can tell me if you've had this issue for where you are. It seems like with different stores, they've been running out of items that are plant-based. I don't know what that is. It's like people are starting to figure it out. Now they're going, oh yeah, I have to get almond milk and soy milk and the rest of it. We don't tend to do that much soy stuffs anymore. We tend to do primarily nut-based stuffs. Oh, you've got it. I surely will. So yeah, there's a couple different recipes that we're doing, and I apologize. I normally walk through and explain that real clearly up front. So we're doing a peanut butter banana type dish in terms of overnight oats, and then we're doing a cobbler type one. Okay. So for my milk, I'm going to be adding in. Yep, I'm going to be adding in my half cup of milk and everybody, and then I'm going to go through and do another half cup. So it's going to be 1 to 1 at least. Go. So when you think in terms of ratio of oats to milk or oats to liquid, you want to think 2 to 1 or at least 1 to 1, okay? With your old-fashioned oats, you can actually get away with 1 to 1 pretty easily. So that means that if you have, for example, in a container, if you have 1 cup of oats, you're going to put in 1 cup of milk. If it looks really crazy right now, it's okay. Give it time. Overnight, it's going to soak it all up, and that's part of what's going to help it to basically cook. Okay, so that's what's happening on those. Here we go. So what kind of fruits did you all choose to do for your blends today? You can let me know in the comments. So 1 and 2. Boom. Okay, so now everybody is set up and ready to go. Oh, perfect. No, I did not add the essential oils yet. Great question. So at this point, I have all of my different oat blends ready and sitting. Okay. So now that I have the liquid in, this is where we will add in our vitality oils. So if we were to add them in to just the oats, then it wouldn't be as nicely and well incorporated. Hey there! Oh, nice, berries and bananas, okay? So we're gonna add them in now that we have the liquid to act as our, what was that term when we were in science class? It's going to create a homogeneous, what is it? Homogeneous. There we go. It's going to create a homogeneous type blend. So it'll go through everything versus just putting in 1 point of the oats. Okay, so a couple different things to keep in mind when you are using your oils, when you're cooking with them. So if we were doing this all in one big container and then splitting it off, I'd go, yeah, sure, use a drop of these vitality or lemon vitality or whatever vitality you wanted. In this case, because they're already portioned off into these smaller containers, please do yourself a favor, do your children a favor, use a toothpick. Okay? So when you're using a toothpick, you're going to get just a partial drop into whatever you're using it in. I know it seems small. I know it seems like you're really not getting that much. Trust me. After doing a whole drop and then going, whoa, that's potent. Yeah, you just want to go back with this, okay? So for the jars that I had as my peanut butter banana or my almond butter banana, okay, those I'm going to use, which ones did I want to use for those? I want to make sure I've got this right. Sweet, yeah, so for those I'm doing my thieves, okay? So for my peanut butter banana ones, I'm going to do some thieves. So that means I'm going to take my toothpicks, if you've not seen this before. So there's a bottle of Thieves Vitality, okay? Comes in your premium starter kit, or you can get it individually. So take my toothpick and I'm going to stick it through the top portion of my bottle, okay? Just like that. It's actually going to just sit. And you just want to gently tip it, maybe roll it around, make sure you get it all nice and juicy. And you can sort of see it. I don't know if you can really see it that well here, okay? So it's got just a little bit of a glisten on there. That's all you need, not a lot. And then I just take it in my container and go swirl. And so when you see one toothpick swirl of an oil, that's literally what it means. That's it, you're done, okay? So that's one jar done. And then I'm going to do that again for my second peanut butter, or really almond butter banana, because my daughter is super picky and she does not like peanut butter. Go figure. She's not allergic to it, she just is all about her almond butter. Alright, and so then here's my second one. Here we go. All nice and done. Okay. Now, as you're making these mixtures up, when you see your oats the next morning, if it looks like it could use a little bit more liquid, that's okay. You can add more in, stir it in, and you're good to go. The last thing you want to do, though, is add in way too much liquid, and then it's just a kind of really, unless you like your oats that way, I don't know. But for me personally, I like to have a good kind of thickness and body to my oats, so I kind of scale it back. Oh, nice. I did not know that she does that with using oatmeal. That is so fun. Yeah, that's all you got to do for that, okay? And then for my other guys, I was going to do a little bit of lemon because I'm going to be doing apple in one. But then for the one that's going to have my peaches in it, I'm sorry, blueberries, you're just going to hang out and look cute. But for the one that's going to have my peaches in it, that's where I'm going to use nutmeg. So think peach cobbler. Peach cobbler. Anyway, so that's what we're going to use those for. So I'm going to do the same process again. You will go through a lot of toothpicks, by the way. That, or like I said, if you make everything up front in one big batch, then you can just do a drop and then portion it out as you need to. So here I am. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm using a straight bottle of lemon. This is, notice the 15 ml size versus the 5, okay? Even though this is lemon in a larger bottle, this is its Vitality twin, okay? So that means that the same exact oil that you find in this size of a lemon essential oil bottle is exactly the same as what you find in your 5 milliliter lemon Vitality. It's the exact same thing. The reason why they're differently labeled is so that you can see really quick and easy. That's one that I can use internally. I can put it in a capsule, I can mix it in my food, no worries. Does that mean that I can't use this one in my food? It just means that at this point, because I know which ones work in which way, I know that lemon is safe for me to use internally, that's what I'm going to do. So I have my toothpick of lemon. I'm going to be adding it to my apple ones. Yes, dear. You want some apple? Oh boy. My children are constantly asking for fruit. We're going to get to her in just a moment. Okay, cool. So I'm going to do that one in there. We're making up some oats for you. I'm making up some oats. Do you like to opals and bononos? You like to eat those? Opals and bononos. Alright, so we've got lemon. I'm going to do lemon in this one. Okay. And I feel like on this one, yep, this one is my other almond butter one. So I'm going to add thieves to that one as well. And I'll get you some apple. Would you mind to get me a knife to cut the apple, please? Yeah. And here we go. Cool. Now with one of these, it's going to end up with both, here we go. It's going to end up with both your lemon and nutmeg, and that's totally fine. Feel free whenever you're making a dish to blend the same way that you would blend spices if you were baking or cooking regularly, okay? So I tend to like apples with lemon because it's just a really nice fresh flavor. Ah, crock pot, I gotcha. Yeah, the part I love about this is that we do have a crock pot, but then it's the summertime, so I'll use it happily in winter, but I try to avoid even looking at it during the summertime because we had record heat already and it's not even July yet, just to be honest. So, and I'm schwitzing as I'm doing this anyway. So, all right, so those are my guys there, and then I've got one last one I'm gonna do with nutmeg. And I think this is gonna be, this is gonna be my portion. There we go. Okay, so then this is gonna be my nutmeg one. Boom.
Mommy?
Yes, dear. Yes, I've got you on apple. Thank you for bringing over the knife. So now we get to the fruit. So this part just moves real quick and easy. Okay. You want some? He wants some too? Okay, so how about you get me the peeler as well? Give me the peeler, thank you. So when you're making up your fruit and you're putting it in for your overnight oats, while she's doing that, I'm going to start working on peaches. So when you're making up your fruit, you can choose to keep the skin on or take it off. It's completely up to you. If you have children who are kind of funny about their skins, that's totally fine. Make sure that they're at least getting some sort of fruit and just go for it. Ah, yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, because whenever I'm doing this is so I have something quick and easy to throw in front of them as they're waking up in the morning, because we tend to overlap in the mornings. But at the same time, if I'm wanting to be able to have something that's on the go, then I could take this, either just eat it straight as is and just from the jar, or put it into a bowl, or honestly just put it in a bowl, let it sit in my lap, and just start driving. I'm one of those people. That's right. So, quick question for you guys. For those of you who work outside the home, wow, that sounds so crazy coming from me. Yeah. But for those of you who work out and about, do you normally eat on your commute to work? Or are you just, nope, I'm in focus mode. I've already eaten it and done my thing. Because I'm so that multitasking driver. Yes, dear. Yes, you may have peach in just a moment. You surely may. Okay, so at this point, we're basically wrapping up the show. We're just about to wrap this thing up. So I've already got my nut butters, I've got my oats, I've got my liquid, I'm about to put in my fruit. When you're using your fruit, if you're working frozen, all you're going to do is just chunk it up. Nothing super fancy. Oh, you want a piece? Okay, here's a slice. You can use them frozen. You'll, of course, want to thaw them a little bit before they get going. I'll put my peaches in there. Fruit is not required, but it is kind of a nice way to add a little bit of extra flair to your dish. And what I love about using the vitality oils is, again, if I wanted to do some sort of a spice, I can probably pull the oil version of it. And number one, it's going to be more potent. On average, it's 70 times more potent than the dry herb itself. Two, it's living, okay? So it's going to have a higher frequency than if you were to use your dried herb, because by the time it's dried, it's basically, I mean, I say this lovingly, it's basically dead, okay? Ah, nice, okay? Very cool. Oh my goodness, that's good. That's so nice that you live close to work. Okay, I've got you with the apple slices. Yeah, so the vitality oils really help to bring out all the best qualities of that particular herb or blend of herbs, so that you are making the most of whatever it is that you're eating. Here we go. And it's interesting, Tashina, that you mentioned Ningxia Red and Ningxia Nitro at the beginning of the video. Here you go. I was talking about how I did a scan and I showed high levels of glyphosate because of the oats that I was using. So as a result, of course, I'm going to be doing some serious detoxing. So that means my Essential Rewards order, which has not yet gone through, yay, we're going to be putting some Ningxia Red on there. We're going to be putting on, I think Comfortone also came up as well. I'm going to be putting on things that were recommended on the scan, as well as other items, just to help with cleansing and resetting my system. I will probably figure out a way to either do raindrop on my feet. If you're not familiar with raindrop technique, it's a series of different oils that are applied to help with spinal alignment, helping to clear the system. It's great from a resetting of the body standpoint. Okay, yeah, I got you. You realize that I need to put this in your oat jars, right? Okay. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing those different things to help clean and reset my body. And I also know that if it's showing up high for me, it's probably showing high for my kids. So between that and then they've been doing swim lessons and it's in a chlorine pool, yeah, that's something that I want to be sure to have going through their system as well. So Ningxia Red is a great way to help with keeping your systems clean. If there are any other Young Living oils or supplements or products that you use, I know Cleansing Trio is really good, but it's out of stock. Digest and Cleanse, also amazing, but out of stock. So if there are other items that you guys use, lemon of course is super awesome, let me know. Using Ningxia berry syrup. So you're using that instead of the maple syrup, I guess? So yeah, if you're using that instead of the maple syrup, that is a great way to go. Let me put this in here. So in my jar, I have some peaches in there. I'm putting some apple in this container. So this is going to be my apple cobbler oats. And then this is going to be my peach cobbler oats. Okay. And they're eating up my food.
I love food.
I feel like I'm constantly in the kitchen because they're constantly taking food. There you go. Go in peace. Okay. Very good. All right. So for those of you who had the almond butter, peanut butter, banana, so this is where things get fun. So you're going to just take your banana. If you want to be super, super fancy, you can smash it and then just scoop it in. Or you can just do slices and plop it on top. Okay? So I'm going to just take my banana, slice it up, and get that going on top. An interesting note when you're getting your bananas and they are organic, it's actually more than just the growing practices that are making it organic. It's also the sustainability and the in some cases the fair trade practices that they're using to help with the production of those fruits. Another reason why I enjoy being able to do these different processes and using Young Living in terms of their oils and their different supplements and things is that whatever products they're putting out, they're making sure to do so as sustainably and responsibly as possible because we have to take care of each other. So I've got my banana one here ready to go. So you can see that with the bananas, and I've got my almond butter and it's got all my yummies in there. I had just a little bit of my, what's it called? And my coconut sugar in there. If I wanted to make it super, super sweet, I could add in more of the coconut sugar or the maple syrup. But honestly, I'm wanting to keep this as, again, low sugar as possible. And this is a pretty ripe banana, so that should take care of the sugar itself. So that's one and done. You want more? My goodness. I never feed my kids, by the way. They always go hungry. I'm totally joking. Here you go. Finish off the apple. We're going to just do more peaches. We're going to just do more peaches or blueberries, right? So, yeah, so whenever we have those available, that's what we're, again, attempting to do. So, at this point, honestly, you guys, once I get this peach sliced up, I'm going to grab up another banana. That is going to finish off the lot for me. So for those of you who are doing your partial jars, so they're not completely filled, they're going to look a little bit closer to this. Okay, so they're going to just be partially filled, and that's okay. For my one container here, this is a little bit closer to 2 servings, about 1.5. That works too. So I'm going to put my peaches in that, because I love peaches. And that's going to be good to go. Cool. All right, so I'm going to get banana for these two. Hold on. Cool. And just jump them up. Or clunk them up. Wow, you know my language. I'm going to cut these guys up. Sometimes with the process of doing this, you will find that you like certain combinations more than others, and that's totally fine. So whatever combinations you enjoy, that's what you want to go with. So if you want to do berry cobbler, so you want to do blueberries and maple syrup and your oats, go for it. If you like the idea of doing the peanut butter banana, go for that as well. So that's what I've got here. So there's my peanut butter banana one. Okay, so that's 2. And now this one is looking pretty full. That's totally fine. because once I take this banana and finish it off in here, I'll be good to go. Yay. And you can do mixed fruits. You do not have to do just one standard fruit. You can blend them however you want. And like I said, this is just, I probably have spent more time just chatting it up and talking about the horrors of toxic foods in our industry or in our country than I have actually putting together oats. You want some more? Well, there's no more at this time. Do you want some peach? Well, how about you do this? Grab up the peach from there. Got it? Okay, cool. All right, friends. So now with mushy banana hands. No, the oats are not going to be cooked at all. Wow, you were really overflowing. Oh no, it's going to be okay. So no, so you don't cook these oats. So what they're going to do is they're going to sit overnight and they're going to soak up your liquid, and it's going to allow them to soften, and then you'll be able to eat them. If you choose to use steel cut oats, then you're going to have to cook them a little bit ahead of time. So that means you're going to, for example, right now, spend about 5-10 minutes with them on the stove, let them cook up, and then turn off the heat, leave them covered overnight, and then in the morning, they'll be ready to go for you to cook them another 5 to 10 minutes versus having to do the full 20 minutes in one go. So you just have to do it a little bit ahead. But with these guys, since they're all rolled oats, that means that all I have to do now is just stick them in the fridge and I'm absolutely done. So, just like that, it's over, friends. So, hope you've had a great time watching this, and hopefully it's inspired you to create your own breakfast dishes, quick, easy, and it involves no heat. And I also hope that you heeded my warning and learned from my lesson of it's so important with what kind of foods we're putting in our bodies. So yeah, so you don't have to stir them. You can just leave them as is. Some people like to stir them. I just go, you know what? Boom, done. So however you like to do it. Once it's sitting, because it's going to be sitting for what? It's 4:30 now, and if I open this up at 5:30, so it's going to be sitting for almost 13 hours. So it's totally good and fine. It's good to go, just like that, okay? So the only thing you may have is that in the morning, if you feel like you want to add some more liquid to it because you want it to be not as thick and creamy, that's totally fine. Oh, and if you're also wanting to add in some chia seeds, you can do that here at the end. Just sprinkle it on top. That works. Or you can wait till morning. Either way is fine. You're really using the chia seeds for crunch. On one of these, for example, with the peach, I could add it in, but it's whatever you'd like. So, hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and be sure to be on the lookout for our next one, our next video class. That should be, I believe, on yogurt parfaits. Oh wait, no, because we said we weren't going to do 2 breakfasts back to back. We'll do another dish that is non-breakfast and then come back to yogurt parfaits, and it's going to be good. Yes, so you're going to take these, just like we had the salads in the jar, and you're going to refrigerate them. So if you're using the old-fashioned rolled oats, you're going to refrigerate these. If you're using the steel cut oats where you've cooked them for about 5 to 10 minutes on the stove, you're going to leave them on the stove. Cover them up and just let them sit. Just let them sit out. It's okay. Again, keep it covered on the stove. You're totally good and fine. So, if there are any other questions, just be sure to pop them in the comments and I will get to them. And that's a wrap. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great one. Bye.